Ladies and gentlemen, respected professor, their colleagues and their guests, good morning and welcome to the first session of the lectures that are held this year as a part of Festival of Visual Arts in Communication and Design, symbolically called RE-DO. My name is Radovanovic and I'm privileged this morning to be your moderator and to welcome this crowd of people which are obviously early in the morning thirsty for the knowledge. As you probably know, Festival of Visual Arts and Communicational Design is an annual event, and this year we are holding the fourth VACD Festival, which is a perfect platform for creative and innovative students who are willing to express their knowledge and their talents. So at the VACD Festival we create, we share and we learn about art, architecture, and from this year we have a new category which is area of our expertise, obviously, and that is architecture. That is the reason why precisely this year VACD Festival started with the lectures from architectural field, and that's why we are having guests from neighboring country, amazing group of 3 young and talented architects who are doing a different kind of projects in different kind of fields. So I will just read a few sentences. Their mission is rethinking and improvement of space as a place of human life and activity, from the small-scale design level to the level of urban planning. Behind their name, they are having many implemented projects, awards, exhibitions, and products. In order not to be boring this morning, immediately, I will just warmly welcome and invite our colleagues, Dejan, Jelena, and Kristo, on behalf of Model Art Architects, to take the stage.
Hello everyone, I'm Kristo, Radovanovic, and here are my colleagues. We are, as Senat said, Model Art Architects from Novi Sad, Serbia, and our presentation is about some urban interventions, and the subtitle of it is Model Art Manual. We call it manual because we are going to show some projects that we worked on during studies and after studies, and they are all about manual work, about actually working on our design. So first of all, I would like to ask how many architecture students are here, or architects. Okay, I see. And I would have a couple of questions for you. For example, do you have some experience in working with some hard tools like hammers, saws, and I don't know, some electric stuff and something? Yes. Okay. It's a few of you. So I know usually for architecture students and architects, it's not very common to work with such stuff. I also do, before we started with our projects, I didn't like to work with such tools and with some hard materials and stuff. I mean, I always thought I'm an architect. I like to draw and to write or something, to make some sketches. I don't like to actually build something. But what we observed as one of the problems of studying architecture is that is this educational problem, because many architecture students don't know too much about practical aspect of architecture, about actually working with materials, about building. And we always work on our designs, on our ideas, but we don't think too much about people who are going to build it after we finish our design. So we were maybe a little bit unsatisfied with the official university practice on our faculty, so we wanted to learn something more, to actually to make some projects on our own, to try something new which we couldn't learn during our studies. And the other problems are some spatial problems, which are problems of contemporary city, about problems with a lack of public spaces and some abandoned city spaces, which could be possible playground for our activities. And when we combine those two problems, we made some approach. And this approach, we have those 4 steps. Research as one common phase of every project, but we also like to do some experiments, something more complex than research, to build some structures. And we are going to show some projects that we worked on, and almost every of those projects are realized, are completed. I mean, they are built and shown in public, which is 3rd step. And behind all that, or above all that, I feel a little uncomfortable speaking to the microphone. So if you can you hear me like this, or less through? Yes. Okay, then thanks. So and behind all that, or above all that, there's some bigger vision and some challenges for future. So the first step is research, and these are some physical models, because we prefer physical models, and to make some research of that kind, because it's more, we like to work with real materials, to use our hands, because we think that it's a better way to feel the architecture and design. So this is a project called Origami in Architecture, and it's one series of physical models with, for example, this one, the first model is made of some paper with origami technique of folding paper, and this a project of some museum, some exhibition space. So, and this models were exhibited in this on this festival in Budapest. So this is also one research project, some conceptual design of iPad pavilion. So this is using techniques of folding paper to create some innovative shapes and forms in architecture. We can also make some research in one-to-one scale. This is one of the first projects that we actually realized. It's a small intervention, but through this project we went through the whole process, from the basic idea and some sketches to the final product. This was made within a bigger group called A7 group. It's a students group from our faculty, and we wanted to make some structure, some pavilion for sitting, because there is a big hall in our on our faculty which is always empty. There's nothing special about that space that people could attract more people to gather there. So we wanted to make some kind of furniture. So we took a lot of cardboards, and this whole structure was made by hands, just cutting layer by layer of cardboards. And we you have some questions? Or
I think they're complaining about the lights.
okay.
More?
Excellent.
It's good. Should I stay here?
Okay, if you have any questions or suggestions or anything, you can interrupt me anytime. So this project is some experimental intervention or installation or furniture. You can call it whatever you want, but this is basically it's a research project. The second stage is an experiment. it's not very common to use experiments in architecture, because architecture is not like other arts or science or something like that. Usually it's more expensive to make some building or anything just for experiment, but we think that it's possible to make experiment in architecture and design, but on some smaller scale. So this project here is also based on origami technique. So here's the whole process from the first idea of folding paper on these triangles, then materials to the final result, and this is this installation for sitting. So what we wanted to do with this project is to learn more about architecture and design by doing, not only by drawing, but to make the real project. So this is also one of our first projects called Origami Forum. It's also experimental installation. It's made of wooden plates, of plywood, of those triangles. So this is how it looks like. This is also exhibited in the hall of our faculty, and after that we transported it to another space. So this is also a project which is pretty different than the last one, because this project is this shape is based on the physical models. It was a lot of physical models to get this shape, and this one is made on, I mean, this shape is made on computer modeling, and then we turned it into reality. So, and it's called Meeting Place, because in every our projects we like to think about the social dimension, about people who are going to use it, and to make the project which will attract people to meet there, to use it, not only to watch it from a distance. We can also do some experiments with form, with light, like this example here. And by going public, we mean letting people judge about our projects, because we think that it's very important to get some feedback from the users of our project. So this project is not realized, but this is our idea how we can redefine some usual architectural program. Like, for example, this is a parking spot for bicycles, and this was a competition, students competition in Novi Sad. We won second prize. So this wasn't realized, but what we wanted to do is not only to make a parking for bicycles, but also space for people. So you can come with your bicycle, but you also have some space to sit there. These are also some projects of public spaces. This one is done for a competition in Belgrade last year, and this one here is it's a project for some. It's not actually a square. It's only like bigger pavement in Novi Sad, which is only for walking. There's no any more interesting things to do, which would make people stay there. So we wanted to make something for people to attract people to use this public space. I mean, to turn it into real public space. So this was our conceptual design. It wasn't built also, but it was only an idea. But we have some projects that were actually exhibited in public space, which were built. This project here is some wooden tribune, or I don't know how to call it, in Vranje, in Serbia. So it's some kind of urban intervention in a schoolyard, in elementary school. And here we can see the whole process of building this project, from the first sketches, ideas, actually working on it, involving users in design process, which we also think is very important in our work, to the final result. So the result is this. The project is consists of those two parts. This one here is made of wooden pallets, and this here is we call it green wall. It's made of plastic crates, and it's used for planting some flowers. So this is a space for the students of this school, not only for breaks but also for, I don't know, open lectures or something like that. This project was made precisely certainly for this location, for this schoolyard, but this project called Bench 1000 centimeters was built not for a certain location, but our idea was to build it and then to move it from one place to another, through different locations, through different cities, to make some research and to get some feedback from the users. So the whole process wasn't only to build this project, but also to gain some information about it, to make some further research. This is probably our favorite users of our projects, because we like when children come to enjoy our project, because they are always honest. When we put something in some public space, we don't know how what's reaction is going to be. People can like it or they can hate it, I don't know, but only when people likes it, we are sure that it's a good project. So this is how it looks like during the night. We put also the lights into it, and this project was also exhibited on the Mixer Festival in Belgrade. And after that, we make some tour through Belgrade, Novi Sad, Dimitrovgrad, and some other places. So it was some kind of mobile bench. The idea of children can also look like this. This project was made for Mammoth Fest in Kikinda. There is this skeleton of mastodons. So they have a Mammoth Fest, which they organize, I don't know, like every year in summer. So they wanted to make some kind of furniture for kids with this motif of this mastodon. So we made also this, I don't know how to call it, maybe a big bench with the shape of mastodon. So it was also interesting for children. And one of our last projects was finished last year during the Art Deco market in Novi Sad. We were invited to make some structure made of those car tubes. So because the whole festival was about some upcycling concept, and this was our proposal, and it was actually built. And it's also mostly interesting for children. So after all those projects, we have, like every architect, we want to do something more, to work on some bigger projects. This project is currently in progress. They are building it. It's Target Academy in Bačka Palanka in Serbia. It's an exhibition space and also education space. Target is an international company for floors, and they wanted to make a reconstruction of their old production hall into a new showroom, exhibition space, and we won this competition. So it's going on right now, and it's not finished yet, but these are some working photos. What we learned from this project is that if you want to make good design, good architecture, you have to first of all make some extraordinary ideas, because you have always to be ready for some compromises, because your clients are always going to complain, they want to be involved, they have some financial issues or something like that. So you have to be ready for that. But if your vision is strong enough, and if you have strong ideas, and if you fight for your ideas and your design and your architecture, the result is going to be great. So I hope I wasn't. That would be about our presentation. I would like to involve in some discussion or something. So if you have any questions, I would like to answer.
I have a question. Because I follow you for already a year on social media. I saw your project for a model of Savamala that you did in cooperation with the Goethe Institute, and I know it was like this. It was involved like many different teams of making models for Savamala. Can you just talk about a little bit about that experience? Because for me, it's a really interesting project of urban revival of this quarter in Belgrade, which is very now popular among young people, but it's still very misused.
Yeah, Savamala is some quarter in Belgrade near the Sava River, and it's a lot of buildings there are abandoned, and there are some ideas to destroy it all and to build some new city. And so a group of people from Belgrade wanted to organize some events on this area to preserve it from destroying. So there are lots of activities in there, and last year we were a part of a project called Model for Savamala, and with some other teams from Belgrade we built a model of this area. It's a big like physical model. It was a very interesting experience for us, but we didn't show this project because it's not it's out of this topic, but I don't know, it's called a model for Savamala, so if you can remember it, you can check it on Facebook or somewhere else after this lecture.
urban furniture goes project. That's one thing. And another thing is a comment and maybe, I don't know, inspiration for our students to say. And another thing is maybe the question, maybe you can explain how you actually realize those projects, how you contact the municipality, because obviously you need some financial support, even though we are not talking about expensive projects when we compare the urban furniture and building itself or interior design. But still you need some financial support. Maybe you can give just some hints for our students, and some of them will graduate this year, how to start to implement those projects, how you find the funds.
First of all, we have to start with some idea, because if you want to get some financial support, you need to have an idea and to someone. For example, for some projects, the first of our projects, we made some conceptual sketches or some physical models or something, and we showed it to our university. So they helped us with it. After that, with some results behind us, we could go further to ask for some other support from municipalities, some cultural centers, or even private investors. So the support is very important. So the idea is probably the first and the most important thing. But during the studies, you also have to learn how to get support, how to get how to go through financial issues and everything. So during our education, we only learn how to be a good architect, to have good designs and everything. But I think we should think more like managers. So it's equally important for architectural practice. Even on those such small scale projects and interventions. Sarah? Please first.
My question is, you mentioned in your presentation that some of the projects you did the experiment before, and the others you actually designed in some programs. I want to ask you, what is your opinion, because when you go and read articles, they claim that the programs are maybe destroying the role of the architects, the programs are creating the design itself. What is your opinion about what do you prefer more, experimenting or using?
You mean like programs for softwares for modeling? We prefer actually model making by hands, because we think it's much important to feel the material that you're working on, and you feel complete control on your projects when you work that way. And if you let computer do almost everything, it can be a little bit tricky. But we're not against using those technologies. We use it, of course, but our approach is more like experimenting, making things with our hands. Learning by doing it's our basic approach.
And I have one more question, if I can. Online, you can find many examples of Western countries having urban interventions almost every day. What do you think, how much behind is this region when you see how little is happening here and how unused the space is? I mean, you can say about Novi Sad because you are from there.
Yeah, but we come from Novi Sad, but it's not much different than any other Balkan city. Though we are, I don't know how many years behind Europe, but it's not only in architecture, because we are behind them in almost everything. So I don't think it's a big problem. We are working on it, and there are some other young people, young architects and designers enough to just work on it and then to exhibit on our faculty, and that's it. But then we realized that festivals and such events are, the purpose of such events are to show projects like ours. So we realized that I know we called, for example, Mixer Festival, and they accepted our projects, and that's where it began. So after that, we visited more and more festivals every year. So it's good because a lot of people come there and you can share your project to a lot of people, and you can get a lot of feedback. So if you have a chance to publish your project on festival like this one, I think it's important not to be shy to show your idea, because sooner or later you have to go public with your project. I hope this is the answer.
Okay, so my question would be like, every day we are talking about the sustainability in the environment. What role this being environmental friendly plays in your project? Like, how do you perceive sustainability in architectural wise in your project?
Sustainability can be, I mean, it is included in our projects, not on some big scale, because these are small scale projects. So the materials that we are working with are sustainable. I don't know. We are not sure if it's, for example, when we are working with our project, we are building something out of some wooden materials or something. It is something like everybody is talking about wood as an eco-friendly, sustainable material. We are not sure if it's true, but if it is true, then our projects are sustainable. But also we use some other recycled materials like cardboards and those tubes for paper and materials like that, which can be recycled after usage. So in every of our projects can be dismantled after using and turned to something else. So yes, I can say that our projects are in some way sustainable, and it is important. But I think it's more important for great buildings to think about sustainability, because they are doing it's a big scale problem.
Any more questions? So, if not, I will just thank you for being this morning here with us. I have to thank the colleagues from Model Art Studio on behalf of organizing Committee of Visual Arts and Communicational Design Festival RE-DO, as well as on behalf of International University of Sarajevo. And I will just kindly invite all of you to follow rest of the lectures today and tomorrow, on Friday as well, when we will have the awards for the people who were participating in the competition part. And today at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we are having the official opening of the festival at Art Gallery in this building B, where you can see the competition works, which will be connected to the topic in product of one course, digital architecture and publication as intervention on some urban places, as well as other competition works from field of art, design, and the architecture. Thank you once more.